So we have the representative of the central depository and the client services. I'm Nikita Zverev, and I work on the client service side at NSD. I've been working there for more than 10 years. The first nominee account was opened in 2013, and I was involved in the account opening process. I still continue to support the account and generally the foreign nominees accounts. I will tell you briefly about how we work with foreign nominee holder accounts. And sometimes I will be using the FNH acronym. This stands for foreign nominee holder. First, how it started and what NSD needed to do in order to work with foreign nominees. In order to have foreign nominee accounts opened with our company, we had to create a powerful and reliable platform for seamless post-trading and service support, trading support on the Moscow exchange as Russia's major platform. Until 2010, Russia had two major officially established securities trading platforms, the MySex and RTS. But in 2010, the decision was made in Moscow to set up a single exchange and single depository serving it, which became the NSD. Later on, in 2012, NSD was given the status of Russia's central depository. And after the RTS was merged with the Moscow Exchange Group, RTS was licensed to also to conduct over-the-counter trade. There were also amendments to the tax legislation, which allowed Russian depositories to be tax agents for foreign nominees. As a consequence, in 2013, NSD opened its first foreign nominee account for Euroclear and the Clearstream, and that was followed by a series of account openings European depositories and the depositories of CIS countries. As of today, we serve 14 foreign nominee holders from different countries. Mostly these are central depositories. In 2013, the Russian law allowed foreign nominees to hold only federal bonds. From 2014, this limitation was removed, and as of today, foreign nominees can have almost any type of securities in their accounts. As is seen from this slide, the demand for Russian bonds on the part of foreign investors started in 2013 and accounted for 22% of all securities issuers. That changed from year to year, but always maintains between 20 and 30% of total issue, which we believe quite a high figure. Also from 2016, we observe increasing interest to corporate bonds, shares, and unit fund shares held by foreign nominees in our accounts. And this is also seen on this diagram. Next, I would like to tell you about some practical details on the one hand, but on the other hand, I don't like to overload you with details, so I will cover them just briefly. This is how account is opened with NSD. It's quite simple. The potential foreign nominee needs to go into a number of contracts with NSD and provide a package of incorporation documents and questionnaires, such as account contract, and if you want to also to conduct DVP transactions, you also need to have a clearing service contract. The client also may choose to use bank accounts opened with NSD. In this case, you will additionally go into banking services agreement. Also, NSD provides a big spectrum of services to market participants. In particular, it's interested to receive information on securities so that we could describe those securities in our systems and also have access to corporate action information. Every client can also request testing with respect to both depository and banking services. Also, using any channels of electronic document services. After you entered into the contracts, you can immediately have access to all the services that the NSD can offer. And now a couple of words about channels that the client can use to communicate instruction or receive reports from us. The NSD can interact with its clients through different channels, as can be seen on this diagram. They're generally classified between the electronic document flow supported by NSD as such and the SWIFT-based channel. In the former case, the NSD file gate, this includes a number of solutions. So, for example, the interface-based service, a web page, or internet banking service, also STP messages, which will use our file gate. In this case, the participant must receive electronic signature keys from the Moscow Exchange. And for non-residents, such as foreign nominees, keys will be based on Microsoft RSA standard. Another channel is SWIFT. Sometimes it works under 15/22 format. And many foreign nominees automate their systems to operate through this standard. Also, given that foreign nominee holders operate in different international markets, working in multiple formats may be suboptimal in terms of business practices and resource allocation. And in many cases, foreign nominee holders work through Russian custodies who know how to work with the depository. So such a custody will be appointed as account operator. It is the case of Euroclear and Clearstream process. This is how it is done because you work under power of attorney through the account operator. In this case, the foreign nominee holder maintains control over its transactions, and when needed, reports and the instruction statuses may be received either through account operator or directly by FNH. The channels which are used to deliver messages may be different. For example, the operator may use the digital gate. At the same time, the FNH will receive its reports through SWIFT channels or vice versa. This can be customized as according to your preferences. Now to the types of settlements with foreign nominee holders. FNH will have access to both free deliveries and DVP deliveries, DVP settlements. FNH can use settlements within NSD as well as throughout the spectrum of foreign securities. That includes external settlements through Euroclear and Clearstream, settlements in CIS countries through respective central depositories. For example, as shown here, Kazakhstan, Armenia, Kyrgyzstan, Belarus, etc. And also NSD clients use access to US markets through ICSDs and Euroclear. Also, they can have access to any other market with which ICSD has bilateral relations. For example, clients can have access to markets of UK, Switzerland, Hong Kong, etc. The variety here is great, and in this case, NSD can serve as a bridge between two foreign nominees. Talking about services inside NSD, we can offer such services as pre-matching of instructions, pooling of instructions, matching by reference. As part of instructions, there are detailed statuses which are given. For example, a client can choose to receive a report on one potential counter instruction or select a group of relevant counter instructions. And so this service is customized for each client. The timing of services is customized to the specific requirements of the depositors. Sometimes clients can use bank accounts not only opened with NSD or the Central Bank of Russia, but also accounts with other banks such as JP Morgan, Chase, New York, and Citibank, New York. Also for DVP settlements, the client can select the type of clearing. Transactions can be settled with or without netting. That will affect the tariff, so the client can have a choice. In case of DVP settlements with netting, DVP implemented the possibility to exercise repo transactions that can be done through Bloomberg terminal or the Moscow Exchange terminal. And corporate actions are relevant settlements. So NSD does the exercise of rights associated with securities. The NSD has underwent a serious reform of corporate action, which implies the switch to an advanced format under the ISO 20022. NSD is one of the first central depositories to implement this advice and arrangement into its software. It also ensured that professional securities market players, depositories, registrars, and issuers are properly prepared for that, and it also facilitated the implementation of new laws to match new approaches. Working under the new format ISO 20022 standard, we make sure that clients can receive electronic instructions with more accessible format, that is 15022. Currently, we accept instructions on all corporate actions on the market, such as shareholders meeting, securities buyback, tender offers, and the like. NSD also operates as the Center for Corporate Information on Securities. This status is given to us by law. This was an important change in the operation of our depository. It means that every Russian issuer must provide all relevant corporate information on its company, which ensures reliability and accessibility of all data. Also, by providing the nominee holders to foreign markets, we support all corporate actions exercised by higher depositories. Here we ensure completeness of information as the upper depository delivers information to its clients. Also, we inform the nominee holders on possible participation in corporate action. Finally, we will talk about taxation implications for foreign nominee holders. This is somewhat different from Russian participants. Under the Russian law, our depository plays the role of tax agent for non-tax residents. It means that if the security is taxable under the Russian law, the NSD will request an aggregate tax disclosure in which the foreign nominee must just disclose the ultimate beneficiary jurisdiction and the tax rate. No detailed disclosure for every beneficiary is required. As in the case with settlements, a foreign nominee holder can appoint its operator from among Russian companies, which will operate under power of attorney and do the disclosure. According to best practices, NSD allows for tax refund after the payment of tax within the period of 25 days. That was a very high level discussion, and I could only touch upon the most important points. And let me just finish at that. If you have any questions, I will be just happy to answer them. You mentioned in the presentation that the IFH can appoint an account operator, but the account will be opened with the central depository, right? Yes, the foreign nominee holder must enter into a contract with the national securities settlement depositor. Working through the operator is just an option. If this is the preferred option, then the only document that they need to issue is the power of attorney. All the rest is the relationship between the nominee holder and the central depository. We have a question from the Tajikistan depository. If they open an account with the depository, what is the next step? Probably the best thing you can do is to address your personal manager Or you can also contact me. I will leave you my contact details. If you have your individual depository account, we recommend that you do the testing. We will ask the foreign nominee holder about the services they want from us, so that we can look into the issue in completeness. For example, you may want to do, as I described in my presentation, you want to use NSD accounts to service your DVP transactions. In this case, you will enter into a clearing contract and banking contract. Otherwise, if you don't need that, if you only want to have your settlements done under free of payment principle, then the contracts that you mentioned will be sufficient. So again, it depends on the mix of services that the FNH will need, and that will define the scope of contracts. Yes, maybe you will also be interested in the services that we offer in terms of description of securities. Sometimes we are asked to provide a database of securities so that they can download information into their own systems. Thank you, Nikita.